Let's get it. It is an absolutely gorgeous day here in the Carolinas, and I'm so glad to see it. I do hope everyone is well today, just as I am. As we always like to say and thank the Most High that we are well, and that we are able to get out and enjoy this beautiful day. Getting some of this fresh air, this sunshine, and some exercise in on this gorgeous day here in the Carolinas. And I hope that you're able also to get out and enjoy your day. Getting you some fresh air in, some sunshine, and hopefully that sun is in your neck of the woods, and some exercise, which we always can get some exercise in. Even if it's just getting up like I used to and just go to the mailbox. I remember them days. That was a real hard time, but thank the Most High we're where we are now. I did have a thought I wanted to share today, and it's coming from one that I saw a post of last week, and it's called Distraction Training. Distraction Training. Or we could say distractions training. And it was one that I saw of the Navy SEALs. They have a whole live training called distraction training, where they have to go through a certain training that helps them push out the distraction. Hallelujah, what a great thought. Just thinking about it got me excited. Because the Most High, He takes us through distractions training also. But when I saw that post, it made me want to look up what really was involved in this Navy SEALs distraction training. And as I should have known, they didn't give out a whole lot of details, but they did show that recording, which was them laying out, and notice I said them laying out on the coast, right there on the shore, all of them laid out like they was in the sit-up position. It's like they was holding themselves up over the water, if I'm not mistaken. I would need to look at it again. But while they was holding themselves in like a crunch position, what you call that? We used to do that as training, playing ball, where we had to hold our legs up and our head over and shoulders up. Core training, but they have a name, not a post, but a plank. I guess it would be an inverted plank position on your back, where you're holding your legs and your legs up 6 inches off the ground like we had to do, and holding your shoulders up off the ground. But they was doing that while the water was coming in, hitting them in the face and trying to make them knock down their legs and their shoulders. Of course, they didn't want to stop and let their shoulders down, because the water would get in their face and in their nose and mouth. And this water was like a swirling wave coming in. It'll come in from one direction one time, and the next time it'll come up from the other direction. Them boys were sitting right there holding that position together, side by side, and that was the most impressive part of what I saw. They was together side by side. I want to say they was holding hands, but I can't be for sure. But they was using each other to keep each other up. And their drill sergeant, I would suppose it was, their drill commander, who, whatever you call a Navy SEAL drill commander or sergeant, whatever his rank is, he was sitting there saying, "It's only water." It's only water, fellas, it's only water. And it may be cold, but it's only water. I mean, he was just motivating them with simple ideas and simple commands. And see, this training the Most High has us going through, it's just simple water. Or should we say, it's just thoughts. It's just an idea. See how Hasatan tries to get us is through ideas and thoughts. But the text says to cast down every imagination and thought that tries to precede itself above the Most High's word, above what the Most High said about you. So in fact, our drill commander or our training officer, we would say that's the Ruach HaKodesh, or the Holy Spirit, as some would say. He's the one that's giving us the training. He's the one whispering in our ear. It's just water. It's just a thought. Cast down that thought. What did the Most High say? And then he'll come right on with the idea that the Most High say. He'll say, cast your burdens on him, because he cares for you. What should I say? He says, cast your cares upon him because he cares for you, or cares for us. And this is just going to be a simple thought today, not to take your focus off the main goal. And just like with them Navy SEALs, their main goal is the mission. Now while they're in training, their main goal is accomplishing what they're being taught, or learning what they're being taught. Learn that lesson, reach that certain goal. And see, that's how we must be in our lives. We must reach the goal that the Most High is trying to get us to. And, well, let me read my notes before I go way too far. But it talks about how you control the distractions. And this was really exciting to me when I heard it, because I started hearing something that the Most High had already taught me, and that's breath control and deep breathing. Mental, emotional, and physical stress can be controlled through deep, controlled, rhythmic breathing. And we was on the bike last week, and the Most High was teaching me about how me taking deep breaths would not only take away the pain in my thighs, but it would give me more energy to push them harder. And that's exactly what this Navy SEAL officer is saying. Yeah, I took it out. But I am going to give credit to this fella. It's a Navy SEAL officer who wrote this. And yeah, he said deep, controlled breathing. Deep, controlled, rhythmic breathing. That means you get a pace. Just like we do on the bike. We'll get to going and we'll get a pace to where we're steady, giving them muscles a steady supply of fresh oxygen. Building them back up full of energy. And he went on and said that this involves inhaling, holding, exhaling, and holding for 4 seconds each time. So that's like what it actually does is slows your heart rate down and get more oxygen to the brain where it's more needed, so you can calm down and take a rational look at the situation. And he went on to say that breathing is free medicine to control your fight or flight response, allowing your body to function rather than be overwhelmed by a stressor or a stress factor. Because to be quite honest, the stress is there. The situation is dire. It's a tough situation we're facing. It reduces mental chatter, giving you the clarity to better make decisions. Hallelujah. But the second means of encountering distractions or distraction training is positive self-talk. Positive self-talk. And the commander went on to say, pay attention to your energy. At SEAL Fit camps, we ask sleep-deprived trainees who may be facing a night of surf torture, which that's what we were just talking about, surf torture. They ask them, what dog are you feeding? We all have the dog of fear or courage inside our mind fighting for attention. What do you hear this boy talking? Hallelujah. And sometimes they're known as hellhounds. Hellhounds or them demons. Demon dogs. And to be quite honest, we have one here in the Carolinas that I'm not too fond of. They call them the Duke Blue Devils. Oh boy. Well, we'll carry on. And he said, once again, we all have the dog of fear or courage inside our mind fighting for attention. He said, after years of negative programming from the news, TV, family, friends, our own self-talk, fear dog normally wins, eroding performance. And see, this is what we was talking about before, about them thoughts and casting them down. See, it says in the text that we must reprogram our minds by the Most High's word. I think he says, be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of our minds. And see, this is what we're talking about. We're taking that programming that we've gotten from the news, TV, family, friends, and our own self-talk, and the most important one, the enemy of our souls, Hasatan, because he's always trying to interject, like we said on last week, he's trying to interject himself into our lives. He's trying to gain the control. He wants to worship, just as he told Yahushua, bow down before me and I give you all this. But Yahushua said no. Don't forget, I'm the high. I sit high and look low. I'm at the right hand of the Father, not you. You forfeited your position in praising the Father. Hallelujah. So we must take that pointer and look at it in the spiritual realm. Like we said before, we got to cast down them thoughts. We got to cast down that old fear dog and lift up the courage dog. Want the courage? Yep, the courage dog. Like he said, they're both fighting for attention. It's all up to us who we give our attention to. See, we can give our attention to the Ruach HaKodesh, who's always with us. Like the text says, he'll never leave us or forsake us. Or we can give it to that imp that has been assigned to us also. See, that joker also never leaves us or forsakes us. He's always on his job also. But see, our job is important. We must distinguish the two by and through the Most High's word and cast down the one we're going to choose to serve, or the one we choose not to serve. Pardon me. Hallelujah. Like the text says, I think it was Joshua, which we quoted a bunch last week. Joshua said, choose this day whom you will serve. When you serve those Elohims or Elohims that your father served in the land that we're at now, or you're going to serve the Most High Elohim who took us out of Egypt, out of bondage, out of slavery, out of harsh treatment. And he went on to say about this positive self-talk, you can interrupt negative thoughts by standing tall and shouting power statements that we use in the Navy like hoorah, easy day, piece of cake, could be worse. Long workouts can become effortless with mantras like that. Or long tests also. Pardon me. When we're going through tests, trials, tough situations, just regular old life stuff, we have to have our own mantras. And a lot of them are, Hasatan, you a lie. Get out of my face. I cast down that thought. That's not what the Father said. And see, I use that one a lot. Nope, that's not what my daddy said. My daddy said this, that, or the other. Greater is he that's in me than you that's in the world. And see, I have to remember that myself from time to time, because that's where I was at when I was in coming off them surgeries and going through all that pain. And my doctor cut off my pain medication. And he gave me some old extra strength Tylenol. Oh boy, you talking about somebody hurting? But I would have to remember that it was just pain, and that I had been through far greater pain than what I was experiencing at that time. And yes, when I experienced that pain, I would have relief in the form of oxycodone or the morphine drip that I had for the heart surgery. But that in itself was like the most horrific pain I felt when the pain medicine wore off. But like I said before, it ain't nothing like your hands and your feet being cold. And it's nothing like having toes amputated and really taking the brunt of that pain. And knowing that you don't have the same pain medication that you can fall back on. But all praises to the Most High, we got through it. All praises to the Most High, we got through it. And it was a very hard situation. But it taught me about how to go through. It taught me how, like just like now when I'm hurting, don't want to ride my bike, my thighs burning. It taught me how to put my head down, shut up, and just paddle. And he says, seals have a saying, suffer in silence. So if a workout or project sucks, don't complain. Your job is to strengthen your team. Oh boy. I'm getting emotional reading this. Find humor where others can't. Clinical trials found that a smile can bring the same level of stimulation as eating chocolate. See, that's why I come on out here and do these recordings when I don't feel like it. See, the Most High keeps me in his secret place studying a good word, studying a good thought. So like the text says, I always be ready to give the reason for my faith, why I trust him. And that's not easy at all as far as it goes with my exercising. With my surgeries, with the stroke I suffered. massive stroke I suffered. And the next way to combat distractions that the Navy SEALs use that we can take advantage of ourselves is visualization. Visualization. And pardon me, I have to at times get this tongue to working like it used to, because I had, like I said, through them strokes, which I don't say quite often, I had to learn how to walk and talk again. I had to learn how to walk again because I lost them 3 toes. And with drop foot, you have to train yourself that, okay, I don't have that same balance and support on this left side that I had before, so I got to use my right side more. But with the talking again, from the time I had that stroke, for like 2 weeks, I couldn't even talk. The only thing I could do was say and And my wife gets on me nowadays when I just answer her with a or She like, talk to me. She was like, that takes me back to a time I don't want to be at or remember. Talk to me. Don't be talking about no Say yes, say no. Let me hear your voice. Because there was a time when you couldn't talk. But visualization. You get the point. Visualization. It's no secret that athletes use visualization in their training arsenal. Here are 2 ways to trick your brain into believing an event has happened for real. Rehearsal. Practice an event in your mind before attempting it. It could be a presentation, an awkward conversation, or gut-busting workout. At SEAL Fit, as a standard operating procedure, we have a pre-workout visualization like this. Find a quiet place to prepare our mind. Dirt dive, exceptional performance. Dominating every evolution with a smile on our face as you help your teammates. I don't really know what dirt dive means, but I guess it's imagine or have deep thoughts of an exceptional performance. And future me. That's the name of the next one under visualization. First was rehearsal, and this one is future me. He said, mentally project yourself achieving a major life goal. So you're basically projecting that in your mind, achieving a goal. You're seeing yourself already achieve that goal. And I guess your stance, how you will look inside of that projection, or how you would look in that visual, that mental visual act. Repeatedly doing so plants a seed in your subconscious mind to recruit the sources to nurture the event to fruition. Try this regularly with your eyes closed during a meditation. See yourself as a vibrant person, glowing from your efforts. You're physically strong, mentally alert, energetic, grounded, and centered. The sun is shining. The sky is clear. You note the date and the time. You knew this day would come. You acknowledge all your massive action to transform this dream into reality by first creating it in your mind. This is some powerful stuff. And it has to be one of the world's greatest military arms, I would say. because they are a part of the American military that does the dirty work. And they must be mentally strong, physically strong, and I'll leave it at that. But how we do that spiritually is by visualizing the word or visualizing what the Most High said about us. See, it always goes back to the Most High's word, Yahushua, the way, the truth, and the life. See, without him being attached to your goals and your plans, they're not going to work. So what we should do is visualize ourselves through him accomplishing every goal. And it's easy and possible through, or by, I should say, the same power that resurrected him from the dead. I read a version of the text yesterday, which I don't like using them phrases like it blew my mind, but it blew my mind. Ephesians 1 and like 22. Oh, it's gotta be like 19. And it says, but I do more than think. I ask the Elohim of our Master, Yahushua HaMashiach, the Elohim of glory, to make you intelligent and discerning in knowing him personally. Your eyes focused and clear so that you see exactly what he is calling you to do. Grasp the immensity of this glorious way of life he has for his followers. Oh, the utter extravagance of his work in us who trust him. Endless energy, boundless strength. And see, this is what we must see ourselves walking in. Endless energy and boundless strength. Basically saying whatever comes our way, we can handle. We got it. No problem. The Most High saw it coming. He's already equipped us for it. And then he's also given us the Ruach HaKodesh, the one called alongside the help, with the power, with this endless energy and boundless strength. And this is 20. All this energy ensues or issues from Mashiach or Christ. Yahuwah raised him from the dead or from death and set him on a throne in heaven. That was Ephesians 1. And 15 through 19 is a good read, a great read. It empowers you to see who you are by visualizing. See, most of the time, if not all the time, you have to see something done before you can do it. See, and that's just why the text says that Yahushua didn't do anything first without seeing the Father do it. It said everything he did, he saw the Father do it and say it. So when we grab hold of a script, just like he whispered in my ear, I want to say yesterday, I was praying to him about some things that he was telling me. And I want to say somewhat asking, like, Abram, well, how you going to do this seeing you haven't given me no child? He said, all grace. He said, all grace, Robert, all grace. I said, all grace? He said, yep, all grace. So I went over to, is that 2 Corinthians 9, 1 through 15, the cheerful giver. But this I say, he who sows sparingly will also reap sparingly. And he who sows bountifully will also reap bountifully. So let each one give as he purposes in his heart, not grudgingly or of necessity, for Yahuwah loves a cheerful giver. And see, it was like, Robert, I have been able to count on you this last year or so, getting out here sharing your testimony, sharing with folks who I have been in your life. And even though you haven't had the money to give like you wanted to, like you used to give in the church, when you gave over 30 years to these preachers who promised prosperity and you didn't see nothing. But even though you wasn't able to give into the ministries that I've been using to transform your life, you wanted to. And you have also given unto my people. You have chosen to give freely what I have given you to give. And then, like you say, I love a cheerful giver. Then the text says, and Yahuwah is able to make all grace abound toward you, that you always having all sufficiency in all things may have an abundance for every good work. And this reminds me of the text that we was just speaking on last week about the woman bothering and begging the magistrate about giving her justice for her sons being arrested and taken into slavery because the father died, therefore leaving the mother a widow and the sons orphans. If I'm not mistaken, once again I say that. Text goes on to say, as it is written, he has dispersed abroad, he has given to the poor, his righteousness endures forever. And this is the cheerful giver the Most High is speaking of, who we all know is Yahushua, period. But he's also talking about us being cheerful givers. Now this is the answer. Now may he who supplies seed to the sower and bread for food, which we know is Yahuwah, the Almighty, supply and multiply the seed you have sown and increase the fruits of your righteousness, while you are enriched in everything for all liberality, which causes more thanksgiving to the Father, or which causes thanksgiving through us to the Father. For the administration of this service not only supplies the needs of the set apart, the saints, the Kodesh, but also is abounding through many thanksgivings to Abba Yah, Yahuwah. While through the proof of this ministry, they glorify Yahuwah for the obedience of your confession to the Basura or gospel of Mashiach, and for your liberal sharing with them and all men, and by their prayer for you who long for you because of the exceeding grace of Yahuwah in you. See, this is talking about us. This is talking about us giving liberally, freely giving what was given to us. And the Most High, it says, thanks be to the Most High for his indescribable gift. And see, that's what it is. But we have to stay content in being patient for the Most High to act. And we have to be content and stand on that text, on the word. Well, it's not easy holding on to something you can't see. See, that's what it's called, why it's called faith. And invest in your faith. And we have one one final key to combating distractions. Distraction training. There we go. And that visualization method is very important. Because what's going to happen is the Most High is going to start showing you visions, oh boy, of you walking in that text, that word, what he's showing you in the word. What a good thought. And that's real important, because you can't do a thing until you see it done. And when he's giving you them visions, that's the same way he led Yahusha, by giving him them visions and the insight, words. But we'll take a word and we'll plant it in our hearts. And that's why he says, wait on him to act. Be patient and wait on him to act. Because what he's going to do is show you how to act. Oh boy. He's going to show us how to act. And I just came back up off that point, because that's a very important one. Let me go and give this vision I saw on Sunday. I saw one on Saturday on the Shabbat, and then one Sunday the day after. And we'll share that one, because he's still dealing with me about the one we saw first. But the one on the day after the Shabbat, which was the first day of the week, Sunday, the Most High showed me a vision of how he deals with me a lot of times is through sports and westerns, because that's what I love, I like. And I had a vision of Lucas McCain, the rifleman, being called by his son, Mark McCain. See, Mark was out in the field with a horse and a mule plowing the field. And Mark had screamed out to his daddy, and he was like, Paul. And by the time Lucas got out there, Mark was basically silent. He was in shock. He couldn't speak no more, because what Mark saw is what Lucas encountered. Lucas had just encountered a snake, a rattlesnake, which was right at his feet, and had, before he knew it, he had bitten down on Lucas' leg. But see, Lucas was protected, because Lucas had on some leather cowboy boots. So he basically stomped him with the other foot and killed him, and ran on over and hugged his son Mark and comforted him. And the Most High just took me off on a great lesson when he showed me that. He was like when he showed me Mark crying out to his daddy, Paul. It was as us crying out to him. And he always reminds me to keep us in there and not just me. Because he know I can be selfish with these lessons, or these ideas. But they're always for other people also. But he was like, that was us crying out to him. And him, being Lucas McCain, come running. I mean, he was running out the door, trying to see about his boy. And by the time he got to Mark, Mark was basically in shock, like I said, and couldn't speak no more. And that's how we are a lot of times. We get in our situations and we're basically don't have nothing to say. We can't even speak. All we can a lot of times is say is, Or like I say a lot, oh boy, it's hard to put into words what we feel, because we're in such tight situations that we don't understand. But Lucas, like I said, he was attacked by a big rattlesnake, and it was just second nature for him to stomp it with the other foot out there. He had lashed on to his boot. So he just basically scrubbed it off his other foot and stomped on his head, and that was it. So that's basically how he was telling me we are with him. When we call, he's right there. He's just a second away to provide, and there to provide the help we need. And another most important thing that the Most High was telling me and teaching me in that vision was that Mark had the power to fend off the snake. It's basically that Mark was just distracted by the snake. What we're talking about now, the distraction training. He was like, Mark not only had the power of the cowboy boots to protect him from being bit, but he also had the great big old horse and the plow, which the snake wasn't gonna try to combat Mark when he was actually being pulled by the plow and the horse, with the mule. So he had more defenses that he really needed to fend off the rattlesnake or Hasatan. And we're the same if we would just concentrate on our job, which is pulling the plow. Like the text says, he that put his hand to the plow and look away, the Most High basically says the Most High would despise. But when we grab hold of that plow, we're supposed to keep our head down and on our job and understand that we have the power. Not only do we have the power, like we just read, let me look at that again, the never-ending power and the strength, but we have direction. All we gotta do is keep plowing that line, keep going forward the way we're being led. And that was the most powerful vision to me, because it's like, even though Lucas was in the house, I don't know what he was doing, but he heard his son. The next scene I saw was him running, and the next thing I saw was the rattlesnake wrapped around his leg. Well, no, I saw Mark with his mouth open trying to holler and pointing at the snake. But see, that's how it is with us in the Most High. As soon as we cry, he hears, and he's already in action. Matter of fact, he's already there waiting on us to holler out. But the next distraction, killing, key is micro goals. And we just spoke on that when we was just talking about the word. See, first we have to go to the Most High for help. That's a goal. Then the next thing is he'll give us a word. We have to receive that word. We take that word and put it into action by speaking that word. And then we continually speaking and wait on the Most High to act on that word. And this is a continuous cycle of how we micromanage a problem or a goal. We set a goal, okay, that's the goal. I want to accomplish this. Okay, how am I going to accomplish this? Of course, with the Most High's help. But what does the Most High say about that goal? We find what he says about it. We apply it to our lives. Not only speaking it, but starting to line up to what the word says about us and what we must do according to that word. Just like a lot of times the Most High would tell us, okay, I want you to be a school teacher. Okay, what do we do when we get that word? Okay, I can do all things through Yahushua that strengthens, or through Mashiach that strengthens. So, okay, we just empowered ourselves. Now, what is he strengthening us to do? Now comes the common sense goals. Okay, we might need to go to school. Or if we already got the degree, we have to go on and apply for a job. See, these are common sense goals, and you would call them micro goals. But let's see what the Navy SEAL officer, retired officer, had to say. He said micro goals. At 3 a.m. on Monday of Navy SEAL Hell Week, 6 days of training with just 4 hours of sleep, making it to Friday would have been a terrible goal. Instead, I focused on making it until sunrise. Go on. Instead, I focused on making it until sunrise. Then the next meal. Then the next step. Otherwise, the magnitude of the experience would have become overwhelming. So if you have to write a book, focus on writing 1,000 words. If you've got a massive project, exclude the most important task or execute the most important task, pardon me. In summary, it's a myth that stress is your problem. How you interpret and handle external stressors determine if you will overcome your woes. Boom. I bet you that's that same spot. From now on, embrace your power to choose how you will interpret stressful events. With mental toughness training, you can dominate life's challenges and be 20 times more capable than you think. Powerful. Remember, deep breathing, positive self-talk, or biblical self-talk, visualizations, getting that vision from the Most High. And a lot of times it's just seeing somebody that's doing what you want to do, seeing them do it. And micro goals. Set goals and follow each one out until you accomplish it. Not the major goal or the massive goal, but just micro steps at a time. See, that's how Yahushua had to do it. He didn't all of a sudden get to the cross. See, the text says he saw the glory after the cross or after the tree was a stake. See, he saw the after effect, and that kept him motivated, because when he was in the garden, he said, "Father, can this be passed from me?" Then he came back to reality and said, "Nevertheless, not my will, but your will be done." See, he got too far ahead of himself in managing his goals. See, yes, his ultimate goal was to come, and give his life for his people, to redeem his people back to the Most High. But first, he still had a lot he had to accomplish. And he needed to stay within the right mental frame in order to accomplish them goals. And one that comes to mind now is him facing Pilate in strength. And even at the cross, where he gave authority of his mother to John. See, those were just a couple of important factors that needed to be taken care of, or goals that needed to be taken care of. And he had to face this major goal in his strength and in his power. Because that's how he coming back. Oh boy. And we're gonna get it. I hope these distraction keys, or as the Navy SEAL commander, retired Navy SEAL commander, said the distraction trainers. And he said SEAL fit training and hell weak training. See, those were to name some of the type goals that these guys had to look forward to when they sign up for the Navy SEALs. See, when you do your study, you understand, okay, I gotta face this as far as being a SEAL. So you do your study. Like I was saying, you study other people that have already accomplished what you're trying to accomplish. And let them be your mentor. But all praises to the Most High. Like I said, I really hope these distraction killers / distraction training has helped you like it's helped me. Remember, stay up and keep pushing forward in the right direction. Shalom. We're not jumping on that bike today. We have some business to take care of. Thank the Most High. Part of that, all grace abounding, which Most High willing, He'll let us share at another day. Shalom.